Abduction, Chapter 32, Part 1. I felt confident that the girls would be okay while John and I drove to rescue Valerie from an uncertain fate. It was started nightfall as the sun started to sink over the horizon. The entire scenario was hard to believe, and I appreciated the chance to think. The one person I needed to talk with about the girls that had gone missing to piece together the mystery was dead, killed with a bullet to the head. I was still shaken by the thought. A promising life snuffed out in a moment. My thoughts on who Maxim Volkov was changed many times. He went from a bad guy to a good guy, and back again. I still didn't know who the man really was. John drove the streets safely, and I was glad for it. If I were driving, I would not be focused. I worried for Valerie as well as for Maxim's well-being, and would have been all over the road. It's hard to believe that they think Maxim had anything to do with the kid's murder, I mumbled. Who is this Maxim? Asked John. He's a well-known business owner in town, I replied. I don't know much more than that. I don't know what his history was before he went to business here in Lutsk either. John kept driving. I could only assume he was absorbing the information I had just given him. John had always been the analytical type and mulling things over before taking action. So, do you think he did murder the kid? Asked John as he stopped at a stoplight. I sighed and brought to mind things that Valeria and Natasha had told me about Maxim. I'm not sure, because when you first meet Maxim, you think mafia. It's just the first impression you have of them. After you talk with him a while and speak with others, your thoughts about him change. It leaves you wondering about who Maxim really is. You didn't answer my question, muttered John. You've always been good at going with your natural instinct, and I'm totally relying on you for this information on how to proceed. What is your gut feeling telling you? My instinct was starting to come back to the point where I thought I could trust it. It had been horribly wrong since I returned from Belarus. Could I trust it now? Could I once again rely on my gut instinct once again to guide me? Having a sense of knowing what was comforting? Then once it's wrong a few times, you begin to wonder if it was real in the first place. No, I said firmly, and with confidence. I don't believe that Maxim killed or had someone kill the young filmmaker. Ilya was killed by someone else, more likely the person who uses the UFO sightings as a guise to perpetrate the kidnappings. There you go, muttered John. You sound more like your old self. Now, let's find your friend Valerie. Do you think you'd be around the entrance of the fitness club or a street over or two? We were close to the gym's street, and I could not pick out Valerie from the crowd at this distance. I could see the small, white with blue lettering police cars. Their police lights were whirling around, and they had cordoned off the front of the sporting club. There, I said, with a tone of heightened awareness as I pointed to the corner building. Valerie is there, the guy wearing the dark blue jacket with a logo on it. If it had not been for the distinctive coat, I'm not sure I would have seen Valerie. I rolled down the passenger window and waved. I didn't want to do too much more than that, as it might cause undue attention. Valerie was alert and nimbly sidestepped the onlookers to reach our car and got into the vehicle with a movement of a cat. Quickly, turn left here, spoke Valerie. We don't want to go past the front of the club. The police are watching everyone who walks or drives by the club. John drove as Valerie directed. Where are we going now? Asked Valerie. First, let me introduce you to John, my friend and business partner, I said. Good to meet you, muttered Valerie. Same, said John. We're planning to go to Farmer's Field and see if we can spot any UFOs tonight, I said. But if you have other plans, like hiding out from the police, we can do that too. No. Going to the observation point will be fine, said Valerie. As long as we are far from the sporting club, I need to avoid that place until things cool down, or at least until tomorrow, if it'll be open. Having Valerie come along with John and me to look for UFOs would be good for him. It would take his mind off of what was happening to his boss, Maxim. Do you think Maxim did it? Killed Ilya? I asked. Valerie shook his head. No, Maxim would never do anything like that. As I have said, he was a good man. Maxim may not have liked Ilya inside any of his businesses, but killing he would never do. I felt better about my hunch regarding Maxim. If anyone knew Maxim Volkov, it would be his right-hand man, Valerie. Have you tried calling Natasha? Asked Valerie. I haven't, I said. Call her. John nodded. That's what I've been telling him, but he won't listen to me. Do you really think Natasha will answer my phone call? I asked. Valerie nodded once. She will answer. I pulled out my cell phone from my pocket. Then I reached into my other pocket to pull out my wallet to get the piece of paper with Natasha's phone number on it. I, unlike my friends, was not confident Natasha would answer. She had gone missing for over a day now, and no one had heard from her. I feared the worst for the girl. My heartbeat picked up as I stared at Natasha's writing. Her prettiest script drew emotions from me that I didn't usually feel. Just a short time spent talking with the girl, I felt like I was close to her. It was evident from what Valerie told me about how Natasha spoke about me. She felt the same way. I dialed a number. The phone rang, and I felt anxious about hearing Natasha's voice. I wanted her to answer and to say that she was okay, that everything was fine, and that she just needed time and space by herself for a while.